Good morning, my loves. It's an exciting day. Happy Galactic New Year. Let me share this into my group. When you guys are hopping on, say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you're catching the replay, hashtag it replay. Let me know that you are here. I am live. Okay. We got that shared. From Houston, Texas. Awesome. Woo! How is the weather in Texas? It has been, I'm on the coast of North Carolina, and we normally have summer pop-up showers every day, almost every day. And this has been the driest summer so far. We normally get a ton of rain. Hi, Salim. Yes, happy Galactic New Year. We have a lot to talk about today, energy-wise. Plus, we're going to have cosmic conversation. So if you guys have questions about the energy, about anything, metaphysical related, mediumship related, you can drop them below. Good morning from Michigan. Hi, Shelly. Hi, Lee. Hot and humid. So please take a moment and share this out so we can share these messages far and wide and allow ourselves or allow more people to get these messages. Just turn that off. I'm also on TikTok. We're just going to broadcast everywhere today. So I do have a few things that I want to talk about before we dive into the energy. I just want to kind of let you guys know, inform you of how things are going to flow. Because of the way that the energy is now, I've talked a lot about this. I've talked a lot about how we have a new base frequency collectively, a brand new base frequency. And that means the amount of light we are each processing. And light is data. It is information. So we as soul, our vehicles, our human vehicles, our consciousness is now processing a ridiculous amount of data faster than we have ever done before, ever. And that means we're processing an extreme amount of light. Okay. And like I said, light is data. Energy, everything is energy first. So everything is energy. That means everything has information to offer us, whether it's a crystal or the chair that you're sitting on or a car that's driving or a tree or a butterfly or a person passing by. Everything is offering us information through our vibration, right? So we have a base frequency, which is our state of being. And then that state of being creates an emotion, and that emotion invokes an action. That action is what we do, what we think, what we speak. That's our vibration. So every single thing has information to offer us. And so it's really important to understand that. So since we have collectively reached a new base frequency, a new amount of information, this is intense. So that means that people who are not awakened or are not self-aware or not used to this kind of energy are going to feel extra anxious. They're going to feel maybe more frustrated, more angry. They're going to feel more emotional. They're going to feel like their life's falling apart. Those who have been using their tools, been doing their internal work, those who have been practicing every day and every moment, being the change, right? Being the very best version of themselves, taking responsibility for their life and how they're creating it. You may be experiencing the other side of that, which is currently where I am, and that is bliss, pure joy and peace in the what is. What's happening in the world and what's happening in your reality doesn't affect your state of being. You just really are at peace at where you are. You are excited to see where the journey is going to lead. You're not really focused on desires anymore. You're not really focused on what's next for you. You're not really focused on what's, obtaining something. I'll be happy when. It's funny because, I did the channeled message this morning, and I posted it, but as I was on my bike ride, me and my guides were just conversing, and it was like those who are working hard to create freedom, like working hard in their daily lives to create freedom, like working their butts off, doing all things so that one day they will be free, or so that one day they'll be financially free, or one day they can retire and enjoy their life so that they can go on vacation. They're missing the point. They're missing the point. The point is to understand and realize that you are sovereign and free right now, and that there is abundance everywhere. And that when you start to focus on the creation and focus on the abundance and focus on how grateful you are and how appreciative you are for everything you have in this now moment, the more that will expand. Anybody can make money. It's so easy today to make money. There's one resource that we have that we can never get back, and that is time. This now moment is all that matters. So if whatever you're doing in this now moment is for something in the future, it needs to be flipped. You need to do it in this now moment because this you want in this moment. And watch how your world shifts. Watch how your world shifts. And that's what we're going to really go into. But before I do go into today's the Galactic New Year. Hello from Rhode Island. Hello. Yay. Before we dive into understanding about the Galactic New Year, and this is also the portal opening for Lionsgate. Super exciting. Yesterday was the day out of time. I want to talk about a little shift that I am making. I know a lot of you know that once a month, beginning of the month, I usually do this big energy update for the full month. But because of everything that I just told you and how quickly the information is coming in, and this week we're going to go through another data point jump, meaning our base frequency is going to rise again collectively. When we talk about predictions and predicting the month ahead, or psychic predictions in general, what we have to remember is everything is subject to change. Always. So let's say I gave you a psychic reading today, and tomorrow you changed your mind. Hello from London. Welcome. Tomorrow you changed your mind. Tomorrow you had a change of heart. Tomorrow something happened and it shifted everything inside of you. Majority of what I said could change. Now, when I personally read somebody and do psychic reading, I'm going to look at their highest potential timeline, meaning I can see all potentials and I focus on the biggest potential you have. But that is not a guarantee. And I learned this, not that I didn't know it, but I really had a humbling lesson last year in 2020 with all the chaos that was going on in the world. Because I was getting these predictive energies of what was going to happen. But then collectively, we had massive swings in how people wanted to proceed. What that means is when I say the collective, I mean the majority of the collective beings had a change. They changed their mind of which direction they wanted to go, how fast they wanted to go, how slow they wanted to go, what they wanted to see happen next. And every time that happened, prediction, change. So a couple of months ago, I mentioned to you guys that I was thinking about not doing energy updates at all anymore. And so what I have done is been sitting with how I want to move forward, because doing a full month out is just not really aligned anymore. There's too much changing quickly. Time has sped up. How we understand time has sped up. How we manifest is almost instantaneous. So as the world shifts from the third dimension to the fifth dimension, we are on and riding through that fourth dimensional bridge right now. Gaia is in the fourth dimension. She's riding through that fourth dimensional bridge. That means it's like a slide. Everything is changing so fast. So what I've decided to do is do weekly updates. I'm on here anyway. So we're going to start today with weekly energy updates. That way we can have a little idea of what we may experience during the week, which is going to allow you to have the information in the back of your mind so that when things get chaotic, or when things get exciting, or when your nerves act up, when your mind stories start playing, you can remind yourself of the base energy that might be going on. And this is to assist you. Okay. It's always to assist you. You guys know that when I do these, it's predominantly not to warn you about what's coming or to tell you what's coming, but to give you the tools to allow you to navigate it more fluidly. Okay. So understanding that, let's dive into the Galactic New Year. So this is based off the Mayan calendar, what we call Galactic astrology for, making it simple. And the Galactic New Year, especially for this year, is all about what I was just talking about. It's really becoming the gardener of your own life. And that's my life's purpose. And remember, life's purpose is what you're here to learn, not what you're here to do. That's your life's mission, right? Is what you're here to do. So we are all moving in to that energy of becoming the gardener of our own lives. And what that really means is we have to understand that we are the earth, we are the cosmos. I am you, you are me. And we are not to focus on what is going wrong with the world. We're not meant to focus on proving others right, waking them up. We're not meant to share all the negativity and all the things that are going wrong in order to produce fear in people to kind of shake them awake. That's not going to work anymore. It's not going to work anymore. We are here to realize that when we see things that we don't like in our world and in our own personal world, that we are to take responsibility for that. And we are to begin to weed that garden by saying, I can accept what is. I can accept that this is what it is. That's not for me. That's not for me. So how do I want to be? And then focus on being that change. Focus on the creation. And this is what the ancients call our cosmic vibratory roots. Whatever you sink into, whatever you're rooted into is what you're going to see. So are you rooted in what the problems are and what's going wrong in the world and against it? Or are you rooted in creating the most epic experience here? Are you rooted in the energy of creation? What is it you're creating? What is it that you want to create? What is going right in your world? What is going right in the world? How can you focus your energy on creation instead of destruction? On what you desire to be, feel, and experience in this now moment? Or do you want to focus on what's going wrong? And there's no judgment here because I used to be the one who focused on what was wrong. All I saw was what was wrong. And part of that was my training, because once I could see what was wrong, I could then learn to focus on solution. Because here's the thing, you can't seek and receive at the same time. You can't. So you can either be seeking for the solution or you can be in the receiving of the solution. And the receiving of the solution comes in the surrender. It comes in the surrender. Stage 2 of an awakening, surrender. The first one is taking responsibility. You're not a victim. You're not a victim of what we're seeing in the world that's happening for us. And this is what is the hardest thing for people to swallow. They say to me, but things are burning. People are starving. People are getting hurt. Governments are being tyrants. Okay. Can you control any of that? No. But you can be the change and influence the energy by you focusing on what you want to create next, what you want to be and do in this moment, what is going right. When you move into the energy of creation and saying, I accept what is, now that I've accepted what is, I can receive. Remember, if someone wants to hand you a $100 bill, you have to open your hand to accept it in order to receive that money. So if you're like, no, I don't want to do this. No, I don't want to feel this. Your hands are closed. You're in resistance. You can't receive anything. So we have to accept what is, not in agreement of it, but in the fact that this can't be changed, but I can change. I can change how I see this. I can change how I respond to this. This is going to help us to learn to restore our multidimensional sovereignty, health, wealth, because what you focus on creates. And that is what this cosmic new year is going to represent. Because 2022 is the year of discovery. Discovering these new frequencies, these new energies. We're only going to get, our base frequency is only going to get higher and higher. In order for us to do that, we have to accept what is so that we can play and explore and adventure and create. Remember, you cannot, well, let me put it this way. Letting go, as I quote today, letting go, all it is taking what is and changing it into what will be. That's it. It's the process of alchemy. It's the process of alchemy. And it's beautiful, right? So that's the Galactic New Year. And this Galactic New Year is a portal that opens up for Lionsgate. And for those of you that don't know what Lionsgate is, it's when the star Sirius, right, which is known as the Great Central Sun, aligns with Earth's sun, with Earth's grid, Orion's belt, and with the Great Pyramid of Giza. And this is an insane alignment of Sirius star codes coming in that are going to be received into every single being on this planet, that is going to be activating dormant etheric DNA that's inside of you, helping you to remember your sovereignty, to remember who you are. It is the beginning of new beginnings, new insights, new lights, new thinking, new levels of awakening. It is a very intense time. And remember, intense does not mean bad. It just means a lot of something, right? So it's going to be a lot of whatever frequency that your state of being is. So let me say that again. The intensity is going to be an amplification of whatever state of being you are in at any given moment. Now, with that understanding, that's within, the so without is going to be the intensification, the magnification of the state of being of the collective world stage. So expect that there may be some crazy stories playing in the world stage, right? We might see some amplification of what's going on. Another thing that they're saying is, remember, we have an extreme amount of light on our planet right now. But because we are still operating in a dualistic plane of existence, that means that we will see an equal amount of dark. You have to have the shadow, right? Without the shadow, what's there? There's no reflection. There's no depth. So yes, the more light is going to show up more dark. And the metaphor that I like to use for this, it makes everything so simple for the human to understand. The logical brain is dimmer switch, right? You guys, I'm sure have heard me talk about this. So if you clean the house and then someone hits that dimmer switch up a couple of notches, all of a sudden you're going to see dirt that you missed. It was always there. You just didn't see it before. So then you clean up that dirt, right? You're like, okay, I missed some dirt. No big deal. I'm going to go clean it up. And then someone comes and pushes that dimmer switch up a little bit more. And you're like, shit, there's more dirt. It's not new dirt. That dirt was always there. You just didn't see it before. So you clean up that dirt. And someone turns up that dimmer switch to max capacity. Boom. More dirt. More dirt. My headset. Let me put this down here and see if it. I usually put my mic on, but I didn't do it today. So hopefully that helps. So when you understand that, you can see that whatever darkness appears, whatever issues are revealed in the world, it's not new. It was always there. But now there's so much light that we're able to see it clearly. And the only reason why we need to see it is to accept it. That's it. to accept it, and in the surrender, send it love and compassion. It is not to fight with it. It is not to protest in the streets. I mean, if you want to go out and sing in the streets and share love, do your thing, right? I don't care what you do. It's up to you. But what I'm saying is don't fight against what is you're not going to win. You're not going to win. If we each did the work behind the scenes to become the change that we wanted to see, this world would shift dramatically and very quickly. That is your only job. And people don't like it when I say that, but it is your only job, is to be that change. And in doing so, you become the lighthouse. You become the beacon. People start to look at you and go, oh my God, this person is not stressing out about what it is. They're not doing that. They're enjoying their life. They're being happy. So I want to make sure that you guys understand that. So another thing this week that for you guys to see, is my headset better? Let me see if I do it like this, if it makes it even better. Another thing that you guys may feel this week, it's just not going to be. I'll just have to use a different headset next time. Is this week you may feel a bit of pressure as if you have to do it all right now, right? Because we feel this energy coming in. And when it comes in like that, it can almost, and because of the planetary conjunctions that are happening, it can almost feel like a pressurizing, like I got to do all of this right now. And so a lot of you guys this week may feel that pressure, and it may push you into overload, doing too much. We're not meant to do everything all at once. So yes, take inspired action. Yes, allow it to be, allow the ideas to be there, write everything down that you want to do, and then prioritize it. What is the most important for you to tackle right away? What is something that's going to bring you the most joy to do right away? And focus on doing one thing at a time. If you feel like you have to do everything this week or everything in one day, and you start running around like a chicken with your head cut off, you are not present. You are in another now moment. You're focusing on getting something done so that. No, space it out. Catch yourself. Slow down. Practice the pause. When you feel your mind going, oh my God, I got to do this, and we got to do this, and we got to do this, be like, okay, write it down. Say, yes, I hear you. I see that I have a lot of things I need to do or would like to do, and then prioritize it and make sure that you are also a priority. If you're not a priority, if you don't put yourself first, it's like trying to drive around without gas. It's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. Okay. So do you guys have any questions about anything that's going to be happening this week? And like I said, it's going to be intense at times, but that's not new. You guys have been talking about things being intense for months now, right? So at this point, we should be integrating and acclimating to these energies. So you're going to want to drink excessive amounts of water, right? I know for me, I have been ridiculously thirsty, including right now. So I'm going to take a drink of water. Making sure that you are getting enough minerals. So I shared on my last live, healing chronic illness and pain and working with Ascension. That's on YouTube. For anybody who missed it, you can go check it out on YouTube. I talked about the minerals that I'm taking on a daily basis. I cannot stress this enough. Majority of humans are mineral deficient, which means that you're not getting enough electrolytes to process the energy. The minerals help you to process the energy. They help with releasing density from your bones. They help with purifying your organs. They help with just strengthening your structuring, which is the most important thing we do. If you missed that, go back and watch it. And I offer the products in there. You can check in the description below. I put a full list of the products that I am using. And if those don't work for you, find something that does. But know that being mineral proficient is going to be a life-changing thing for you. And not only that, but it's going to help you process out and empty out the toxins. Okay. Can you give some insight? My hands have been shaking from this energy, possibly. So the shaking of the hands. So when you have your hands and your arm are connected to your heart. Okay. So that's something you want to keep in mind. So when you have your heart opening and expanding, you're going to feel energy coursing through your arms and your hands. When you're feeling the shaking, there could be multiple things. So for you, Shelly, I'm not going to know unless I was to be in a session with you and be able to just really zone in on you. But usually when you feel shaking, that means that there is an other energy. See, it can mean a couple of things. So one, you could have energy flowing out of your arms from your heart and out of your hands, meaning they are sending out energy. Okay. So you can start learning to work with energy and manage that energy. I actually have a mastermind that I'm getting ready to launch in a couple of days that I'll be sharing about, which will actually help you guys to do that. So look forward to that. It could also mean that you are sensing a loved one or guides around you. It depends on if you're feeling it in both hands or just one hand. When you feel energy on your arms and hands all the way up to your shoulders, that's usually, depending on certain points, is going to tell you who is trying to communicate with you. Again, something that I will be going really deep into in the energy matrix, which is the mastermind that's going to be opening. I'm going to be offering this week. It could also mean that you have a excessive amount of energy coming from your heart. And so you want to do Kundalini yoga. You want to do, back bends, really open up that spine so that the energy can go up and out your crown. It might mean that you have energy that's wanting to heal a part of your body. So it could mean many things. It could mean many things. So I would start, Shelly, with doing some yoga. Kundalini yoga is going to be really great because it's focused on the spine, and you're only as young as the health of your spine. So moving your spine, getting that energy to flow from your heart up, going to help increase your water intake, making sure that you are getting enough minerals so that that energy can process, spending more time in meditation, putting your hands together or putting your hands, in a certain position and really tapping in and tuning into that energy. So a lot of times when you feel that shakiness, it means that you're having a hard time moving the energy, flowing the energy. But again, without reading you directly, these are just lots of hypothetical, possibilities and potentials of what it could be. So I hope that makes sense for you. Hi, Vicky. Yeah, go back and watch the beginning. It's good. Lots of stuff. So does anybody have any other questions about the energy this week? I have said multiple times, learning how to manage and read your own energy is the most important thing to do right now, because our bones hold the dry ingredients of all of our information from all time and space that pertains to us. And so when we have emotions, when we have these big portals that open up our sacral and allow those emotional waters to flow, it starts to water and grow some of those roots that have been in our system. For me personally, I've had a couple of lifetimes that have been coming up during this last 6 months, right? So I was the head of an army in Rome, and I had a lot of followers, right? And a lot of people died. So I have been working through the shadow of being responsible for a large amount of people. That my lead is being responsible, right? The information that I'm sharing. I actually had multiple lifetimes in Rome where I was somebody who was in a great deal of power, right? I have been a king. I have been a queen. I was a part of the fall of Atlantis. That is coming up for a lot of people as well. So anytime that we have similar energies to the now moment, it's going to trigger the remembrance of another now moment. It doesn't mean we have to go get past life regression and go heal that life. Everything is healed in this now moment. That is it. So understanding that, we know that when we're feeling something, there probably is a connection to another time. That's why it's so important to learn how to read your energy. When you learn how to read your body and read your energy, then you can begin to tap into everything that you are seeking in this now moment. That's the power. And that is what I'm going to be teaching people next. Shelly says healing grief. Yes, that makes sense. Good. When you're healing grief too, remember, if you're healing grief, sometimes you get shaky because you're not wanting to open your heart. You're not wanting to open your heart. There's resistance because when we open our heart, it's basically like letting all the walls down. And sometimes there can be a fear of getting hurt or feeling that pain. And so we hold onto it tight that we begin to vibrate, right? Because something begins to shake. If you hold something intently long enough, your body's going to begin to shake and tremble. So really kind of sit with that as well and start to work with that heart chakra. Really accepting what is, really allowing yourself to sit. Because when you sit with emotions, you guys, a lot of times we don't want to sit with our pain. We don't want to sit with our emotions. And so because we don't want to feel it. Remember, we're never afraid of anything, but we are afraid to feel everything. So you have to feel it to heal it. So the moment that you allow yourself to 100% feel whatever is, know that it will only last about a minute less. If it's going longer than that, you're in the story. You don't need to know why. You don't need to fix. You don't need to figure out anything. If you're trying to figure out something, you're in the story. All you have to do is accept what is and allow yourself to feel it 100% completely, and it will shift. A lot of times, you know why people don't do this? Because they try it and they go, but it only lasted a minute. It only lasted a couple of seconds and then it was gone. So they think they're doing something wrong. So they start going back into the story of it. Just allow yourself to feel it 100% completely. And it will be so short-lived because in the present moment, there really isn't much pain, you guys, at all. There isn't. It's pretty crazy how that is. And see, the human thinks things have to be complicated. They really don't. But that takes us a long time. We're not learning anything new here. We're unlearning everything and remembering what we actually are. That's what we're doing. Whew. So that is a lot of information. I know, but it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be amazing. So any other questions? Anything else you guys want to chat about? We have a little bit more time before I need to move on to the next thing. I will be back live Wednesday. Yes, because tomorrow I have DNA activation. I will be back live Wednesday, and I will be using Wednesday to really open up and share about the energy matrix, which is what I'm going to be offering next. 1 and 2, we're going to be diving into talking about what we were talking about last week. So I'll create a post in between now and then on my Facebook business page. And you guys can put underneath there anything that you guys are dealing with energy wise, like meaning ascension symptoms, chronic pain and illness. And that way I can address some of those on the live and help those of you that are struggling with chronic pain, illness, and struggling with ascension symptoms. It's been one of the biggest shifts that I've had this year is not having so many ascension symptoms. And the power of the work that I do and teach, really opening that up. So you always teach what you're here to master. So this is something that I practice every day. And what that has been able to do for me is really get me to a level to where I'm no longer feeling so many ascension symptoms. It's not so intense and life altering, because it can be sometimes. So I'll be making that post and you guys can share exactly what you're struggling with and we can address that. But I'll be beginning Wednesdays with talking about the energy matrix and really sharing what that's going to be about for those that have been asking. A lot of you guys have been asking for this type of thing. So I'm really excited to talk about it and bring it forth. Okay. So do we have any other questions or anything else anybody wants to talk about before we wrap up for the day? Just give you guys a minute. And then we'll close up if we don't. So the last thing that I'm hearing that to bring in while I wait to see if there's any other questions is this. There's a lot to living what's called multidimensionally, which is about living in totality, right? You guys have heard me talk about that a lot, living in totality. That is how you're able to sustain and live in a multidimensional way. So in order to do that, we have to release judgment. We have to release judgment. So anytime you notice that you are in judgment of yourself, judgment of another, or judgment of the world, really focus on that. As in, notice it, become aware of it, and tell yourself, oh, I'm judging right there. Why am I judging? Usually when we're judging something, it's a defense mechanism. There's a reason why we're judging it. It's usually because there's something to that we're judging in ourselves. And when you notice that you're judging in yourself, notice how you judge that externally as well. And what you want to do is figure out a way in that moment to accept what is. So whenever you're in judgment, notice, become aware, take responsibility for the fact that you're in judgment without beating yourself up and going back down the shame and guilt cycle. 2, come into acceptance with it. Come into acceptance. Can I accept what is? Can I accept that I'm judging this? Can you just come into acceptance? The second thing, mind your own business. Mind your own business. Stop trying to fix people. Stop trying to prove to people. Stop trying to awaken people. Focus on you. What are you? What's going on in your life? Stop worrying about other people's lives. Stop worrying about how to fix the world. The world adjusts when you adjust. And I know that that's hard for the human because the human's like, oh my God, we have to go and save the world and we have to do all these things. When we save ourselves, we become the very light for another to take responsibility and do the same. Those are the very 2 biggest things that you can begin to do in your life to step into living in totality. Mind your own business and release judgment. Release judgment. Okay? Corey says she's excited to hear more about the energy matrix. Yes. I've been working on it behind the scenes for about a week now. And it's a 6-month mastermind. It's going to be amazing. And it's probably going to be affordable. Most of you know how much I usually charge for things. This one is going to be done differently. So you're going to be pleasantly surprised. I was really guided to make it to a level that is obtainable for people, but will also be a big enough stretch that will make them show up and do the work. This isn't something you'll be learning and observing and not interacting. This is going to be very interactive. You guys are going to learn a lot of my trade secrets. So anyway, that is the energy of this week. Again, so that big portal's open. The Lionsgate portal is actually open until August 12th. So if we're going to see, and I'll probably talk a little bit more about this next week on next week's energy, but if we're going to see any big shakeups in the world, it's probably going to take place in August or September based on this now moment. Again, remember I said that the future is always susceptible to change. So if we're going to see some intensities or restrictions or chaos or type energy, this is when it's going to be, because the light is going to be so intense. So intense. So that means it's going to be shining a light on a lot of things. Remember, those things have always been there. They're not new. We're just now seeing them differently. And in that moment, all we have to do is adjust our perception. This is happening for us. Can't build the new earth on top of the old earth. The old earth has to come down. Okay? We need that rubble to build the new. So it's something you guys always want to keep in the back of your mind. All right? So if we don't have any other questions, we will wrap it up with that. Thank you guys, everyone, for hopping on today. I will be back Wednesday. Remember, we're going to be talking Wednesday about the energy matrix, which is about learning and discerning how to manage and read your own energy, how to use energy for healing, for channeling, all of that good stuff. And we're going to be talking about, we'll be talking about particular chronic illnesses, chronic pains, ascension symptoms that you may have that you would like me to talk more about or address personally. All right. So I will see you guys Wednesday. Have an amazing week.